There's so much affection for him, despite the fact that he is such a complicated character. And I met up with the former England midfielder earlier. We spoke about whether Roy Hodgson's England need to entertain more, about how Raheem Sterling should handle criticism, also about Kenny Sansom's ongoing problems. But I started by asking him how he was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good. It's where I want to be, I'm happy in life. I'm happy the way everything's going, I know it's not going to last forever because I know what the press can write. The lies that have been written over me over the last 2 years have been horrendous. And, you've got to be strong to get through that. But sometimes, I'm a human being. It doesn't mean because I'm poor Gascoigne or Gaza or a great footballer. I am human and sometimes things do get to you, And it's not as if I've got a partner that I can share this with. It's like sometimes I have to sit there isolated and take it, and then sometimes it's like ringing up loads of people and saying, listen, it's not true, I'll tell them when I'm in a bad way. If not, because I'm getting followed so much, it'll be in the papers, Like the guy the other day, he went, oh, Paul, it's great to see you looking well again. And I was like, when did you last see us, mate? He went, I didn't. I seen you in the paper 6 months ago. All right, then. Oh, that's right, because I've seen it in the papers. But, and then I've just been left, well, not left alone, as the follower is, but they don't print anything because there's nothing for them to print if I haven't got a bottle of gin in my hand. And it's things like, something like that. I accept it's gonna be on for life for me as far as I'm concerned. It's how I deal with it. And I admit it, sometimes I haven't dealt with it properly and I've hit the drink. It hasn't been like month binge, it's been a few days and I pay the consequences regards, I might drink tomorrow, Kelly. I might not, hopefully I don't, as long as I do the right things. And but, I don't think when I'm having a drink I'm breaking any rules. All I'm doing is making the situation bad for myself, You've
said in the past that it's a decision you've got to make to decide that you're an alcoholic, to decide that you want to go and seek help. Do you feel you've made that decision now?
Well, I've had enough help, When I go to treatment centres now or whatever, when I did go, I haven't been in one for 2.5 years. It's after 3 days I want to go home because I know the other stuff they're going to talk about because I've said it so many times. It's just getting rid of the obsession. I thought it was a craving for a drink. It's the obsession for a drink. And when I have the obsession, I need to talk to someone and it goes away. But then I have a drink. And then after that, there's no drink. Then the cravings come on, So I know I know what's around the corner, what's coming in as eating us, But it's hard sometimes as well. It's like, I love being busy, not busy guy, but like if there's work, I'm making people happy and that. And when there's so many lies written about you, it's like, how do you pick yourself up? I can pick myself up now and again, or keep on going, but sometimes I get so much, like, it's like keep defending myself all the time, and it's like if I need to speak to anyone saying it's not true, and some of the stories are right, but when it eventually going to get something when they're sitting outside your house day and day. I haven't played football for 12 years, but I've had a great time in my career, and the times where I've let myself down it's me, and unfortunately, this year, over 6 years, it's probably drank about 3 months or 4 months, For me, probably it's too much being an alcoholic, But in life, I'm happy.
Why is it that it matters to you so much what people are writing about you, what people are saying about you, what you think they think of you?
Yeah, because I'm a nice guy. I wouldn't treat anybody the way that I get treated, I dare not, and I've seen what it's like. And, I don't play football, so I don't making money playing football anymore, so I have to learn to live in other ways. And, when you get good jobs on, and then the press write lies, and I lose that job because they think I'm in rehab or I'm drinking ground with heroin or I'm jumping off a pier or if I'm falling out of a casino drunk and I'm sitting in the back garden doing nothing. And then I have to ring the lawyer again and it takes 2 years. And in them 2 years I've lost even more money, and then I think, and then eventually people come up and say, get well. Like not long ago I was with 2 lawyers trying to sue this newspaper. And I went, we can do some apologies, get on with it. And then all of a sudden I get a call. I'm walking down the road and a guy went, come on, you'll be all right, stay strong. What are you on about? I'll go and pick up the newspapers. I'm in rehab and I've just fell off the wagon. I've just been with 2 lawyers, sued the newspapers, and he went, Paul, easy now. I went, exactly, what can I do? Just never sue him again. So, I went from being on the pitch all the time in the courtrooms. I should become a lawyer, defend myself. But, and I'm the first to say, when I did wrong. I don't need newspapers to say, if anyone come on the street, I'm not turned down an autograph for 25 years. If everyone come up and says, okay, I have to tell them if I'm drinking, no, I've had a drink because that's the only way I want to get better. By telling people, and I learned that over the years. And I'll speak to my sponsor. But in all, I've done well. I've been working out every morning for the last 6 weeks and that, and I feel good about myself. And, you know, I hope it happens. I just continue what I'm doing, you know. Like everything's good at the moment, but I know what's going to happen in time. And like I said, it was good the last time when I did that BT, and it was fantastic. I'll go in the shop and buy some cigarettes, and the next thing you know, and the papers next day, gas us back on the drink, and it was far from the truth. And I have to go back to the shop and get him to speak to my lawyer, and then sue again.
It's interesting that you bring up how the press report on you and how they talk about you, because your public image and the way that they talk about you has changed so much since you kind of first appeared in the press. You first really sort of exploded after Italia 90. Probably that was a big changing point for you. And you were the sort of fun-loving party guy. And for you, did it feel like fun drinking then, and then it became a problem, or was it always a problem?
No, it's never been really a problem. I think 33, I was glad to get told I was an alcoholic, because I realised I didn't know what was going on. Why did I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning wanting to drink? It wasn't normal. I mean, at that time when I played as well, it was like a drinking culture of such. But no, it's like when I was playing football and I had a drink, they couldn't really give a stick, because I knew if I had a drink on the Tuesday or Wednesday when I played, so what? I knew come Saturday I could do the business on the park, and I had that to look forward to. Now when they're writing stuff and some of it's not true, and then if I did have a drink, it's not fun anymore, because I had nothing to look forward to. And I just realised that, you know, when I was 33 and I worked out, when I went to treatment and really worked hard, I'd be like, why am I waking up 5 o'clock? And then they explained and listened to other people's stories. I went, oh, I am. Thank God, you know. It's like when people have an illness, they want to know, is there any medication they can take? And it was a relief. And I stayed, well, you know, I stayed sober for three years after that. And then I had a little blip, and then I stayed sober again for 2 years. And then I had a little blip, and I stayed sober again for 3 years. And that was 1.5, and then 9 months. And then, you know, again, 6 years ago, I went for treatment. I stayed sober for 2.5 years. And it was like that. So it's all these little downfalls for 2 weeks, you know, or 2 days or whatever. And I get hammered for it, you know. They don't have to... You know, I don't mind them writing stuff out. He's back on the drink, fair enough. It's when I'm not drinking and they're writing lies. So people say, you know, they're going to always do nice stuff. If you stay sober, it's not the case. I've been sober for 3 years, I still write lies. You know, I got followed, Kelly, for 6 years in News World. Then I've just found out I've been followed for 15 years. And I've just said in court that 20 stories for the last time, every one has been lies. And I know there was more than that.
Do you think when you're talking about this, and it's clearly affecting you strongly, and you talk a lot about it, but there have been times when people don't believe that this is happening to you, that because you're an alcoholic and because they say, oh, you've been back on the drink, people aren't believing what you're saying?
Exactly. And so, you know, the reason I did this thing in the cinema, you know, about what I've had to deal with and what it's like to live in the life of poor Gascoigne, is because I couldn't go to the newspaper, because I'm suing that one. So he's not going to be on my side, because he's like contradicting himself. And I'm suing that one, so I'm suing them all. Well, they're not going to write anything, so the only thing they can do is wait for me to slip up. And sometimes I don't slip up, but they write I do.
Do you think that football helped you or hindered you in your battle with alcoholism? I don't know if you've seen the pictures of Kenny Sansom and his and that sort of drinking culture. Do you think it not encouraged, but enabled people who were alcoholics to pass it off as high spirits and drinking?
No, totally not, Kelly, because every time, you know, people say he's been in rehab so many times, because I wanted help. You know, I'm desperate for it, you know, and I paid about 300 grand of my own money, and I'm trying, you know, want to win this over, and I went to rehab to help Kenny, and he ran out after half a day. So he's not wanting help, and I can't help him. Nobody in the world can help unless he puts his hand up and says, I need help. And he's did it a couple of times and ran out after half a day. So what I can sit here and give Kenny stick, say, listen, mate, it is hard. You've had life too easy. You cannot just sit on your arse and sit in the car park or whatever and then wallow about it. If you want help, go and get it. You know, it's like me. You've never seen me going, I need help. I've been cabbaged. I've been out of it. And I ended up in treatment because I wanted help so badly, you know. And then there's been times where I've done really well and they still give me stick. So I kind of went either way. The only thing is, like, just focus and get nice people, good people around you. Now the help has been there for Kenny a few times, and I went to the treatment centre and says, look, hang in there, Kenny, be all right, you know. And then he just runs out half an hour. So he's had help from everyone so far. But at least I've took the help on board and wanted to know what my problems were. But I've spent a lot of money on myself in treatment. Kenny's just got to hold his hand up and say, yeah, I can do it, you know. It's like, people say it. When you're actually in it, we think no one can know. People do know, and people do care, and it's like, thanks, I'll give it another shot, and I've done that. But like I said, over 19 years, I've probably drank 2 years. If you had the weeks up together, I've probably drank a year and a half or 2 years out of 19, and that's good for someone of my stature. You get rock stars make problems with drinks, but they make money from it. I don't. I get hammered, but it's not all about money. For me, it's my health and that. And it's nice, that I can turn around quickly. The closest I've ever been was 2 and 3 years ago when I died in hospital, and they kept on giving us injections in my heart and lungs to keep us alive, which I'm grateful, grateful. And but I'm enjoying life, I really am.
How have you coped with not playing football anymore?
I was hard. I still haven't coped. I hardly try and watch games, because I just still wish I was playing. Or your dad will tell you more than anything, I'm like, I've travelled 25 minutes to watch a game, and all of a sudden they're just kicking the ball left, right, and I'm like, I've got to sit and watch this, so I'll just leave. I can't handle watching players also getting a lot of money in, but not putting the full 100% in. And the other things, I said it the other day, I wish players would realise that there's fans there, that, the fans paid for my house, they paid for my car, they paid for my holidays, and when I see players score a goal, even if they've done it for England, score a goal and just walk back. It's okay, I can do this every week. They can't do it every week, It's like, celebrate for it, because there's young kids there going, oh, it means nothing to score a goal, It's celebrate. So I don't like that side of it as well.
I think there's a duty on players to entertain. I mean, you were a great entertainer as a player. I mean, you could maybe write England's game against Ireland off a little bit. But do you think there is a duty on players to entertain?
Well, enjoy the game more. I think the players are playing with so much pressure on themselves, It's a case of getting out there and express yourself. You've got to make mistakes. If everything was perfect in life, it would be so boring. I'd hate that. You need the bad things to appreciate the good things, and go out and experiment now and again, okay, maybe for a game or two, and see what it's like, see what it's like on the other side, and express yourself. And the best one for me was Gareth Bale. He was a left back, he must have thought, this is boring, I'm quick, and all of a sudden he's banging in goals. Look where he is now, So that's a great example of just being a left back, just got to defend too. Now he's playing left and right wing up front for Real Madrid, scoring goals. So that's a great example for any player to look at,
The spotlight's on players a lot more. Well, generally speaking, the spotlight is on players a lot more now, but you're probably one of the few from your era who understands how much attention the players now are getting. And Roy Hodgson said Raheem Sterling's going to have to get his head right and deal with it. Would you be able to give him advice?
Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking is that's fantastic. There's 11 players on that pitch. We've all seen it, but he picked out Roy Sterling. So that means he must be doing something right, because obviously he knows he's a great player. He's picked him out. He could have picked any of the 11 out, I suppose. He's picked him out because he's a good player. And I say to Sterling, if you're getting kicked left, right and centre and you're getting booed, that's because they're worried about you. They're scared, They don't want you playing. They don't want you on the ball, because when you're on the ball, you're dangerous. But Roy, take that also as a compliment that the England manager is willing to pick you out, because you've got something that you're not producing at the moment, and start doing it again, He didn't have a good month, I suppose, leading up to this game, but he's got to just get on it. And, the thing is, when he's had a good game or bad game, just leave the papers alone. Don't read it for a bit and just give yourself a break and just do what is best. But when it comes from an England manager, then obviously you have to listen, and if you can take a little bit of that on board as well, you have to take a little bit from your club manager, a little bit from the England manager, and a little bit from what that was being said or read about him as well, because there's some people know the football as well out there, so you add a little bit of this, a little bit of yourself as well, and the booing and all that is because they're worried about you. If they're not talking about you, they'll be talking to someone else. And I can honestly say is the time to worry is when they stop talking about you.